How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. I want to make sure you guys are prepared for next week. We saw on the Friday it was very volatile. The market ended up selling off big time. And as far as for next week, we know we have the Fed meeting. So there's going to be even more for you guys to look forward to in regards to price action. And we're going to talk about it. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the selling and the buying behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So we could see that it closed at $37.75, being down 2.51%. On the low, it tested $37.19, and then on the high, testing $39.98. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see CB traded at 38.254 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 45.324 million shares. So what we could see, we did have below average volume on the day, part of the reasons why we saw some pressure on the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below is at 43.87. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, but we are below the 21-day EMA and as well as for the 50-day. So one of the things that I want to point out to you, we ended up seeing a low of $37.19. So if you want to play Lucid to the downside, then the area of support you want to keep an eye on is right here around $36.50. And we've talked about this previously in the past. If it breaks through $36.50, then this stock is going to the $34 range. So again, use that to your homework and as well as for your due diligence, come up with a strategy. As far as if you want to see strength from this stock, it's going to have to come back to reclaim the 21-day EMA at least around $40.41 or just being above $40. And then, of course, that key level right at $42.50, which has been serving as an area of resistance. That's why I'm saying if they can reclaim this, consolidate, build some strength, it puts it right near to where it can get to the 50-day, and then it would get tested right at that $45 level. Again, things would have to be extremely bullish for this to happen, or maybe a catalyst coming through. But I am not seeing it. But so one thing that is realistic though, if we have weakness inside of the market, Lucid will get down to 36.50 and break through that support. So let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So what we're going to be taking a look at their filings for January the 21st. And we can see there's a good amount going on. Let's go through it. So we have Russell Investments Group Limited that purchased 5,630 shares. We also have Kistra Private Wealth Services LLC that purchased 6,639 shares. We also have Aaron's Investment Partners LLC that purchased 450 shares. We have Gemmer Asset Management LLC that purchased 10 shares. We also have Concord Wealth Partners that purchased 500 shares, and we have Wealthfront Advisors LLC that purchased 52,126 shares. And we also have a closed position from Global Retirement Partners LLC as well. As we go down further for the 21st, we have Shakira Asset Management Inc. that purchased 7,800 shares. We have Huntington National Bank that purchased 1,535 shares. And then for the last one, we have Golden Green Inc. that purchased 5,409 shares. So again, institutions loading up on Lucid. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, The dark pool short volume ratio is at 53.15%, and for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 9.59 million shares. Scrolling down the page for the short shares availability, it is at 0, updated 22 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is currently not available. Now, when we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 20th, it was at 54.22, and then for the close of the 21st, which was yesterday, it was at 53.15. So what this tells us right away, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep a close eye on this play. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow it's at 245, and on the outflow it's at 359. Taking a look at the breakdown, it was 7.39 on the large, 112 on the medium, and 125 on the small. Keep in mind these numbers are in the millions. Then when we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it's 16.19. On the medium, it's 178. And then on the small, it was 165. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for January the 21st, so the Friday that just passed, us having that outflow of 8.81 million. Again, no surprises. We had a strong sell-off in tech. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. Then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, which we just covered, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And the difference was, you could see on the large for the inflow side, it was 7.39 million. And then for the outflow side, it was at 16.19 million. So more than doubled. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.32%. So this is a very consistent range for Lucid, and considering the volatility that we had in the Friday and all of the selling pressure, it still held up fairly well. So now let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid in regards to the price action, if we continue to see weakness in the market for this coming week, then we want to look forward to seeing that pullback. And the level that you want to see hold up for Lucid is at 36.50. The moment it breaks through 36.50, then there's a high likelihood that this stock is going to go to $34. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind. So if you are thinking about going in with puts and so forth, just make sure you also give yourself enough time, because we've seen sometimes how this stock could actually trade. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. We also do see institutions are continuing to load up on shares from the filings. And when I was taking a look at iBorrow, as far as for the short borrow fee, it is around 60%. So this is why I'm saying you need to have more buying pressure coming into the stock. We saw when the stock was holding itself up very well when the market was selling off previously, buyers are exhausted at this point. And this is why we are starting to see weaknesses in the price, and why I was saying keep an eye on that $36.50 level. We're already in the $37 range. We could go below 34, but what I'm seeing right now is to keep an eye on $36.50. I want to keep saying that so you guys remember that. You can add it to your homework, and as well as for your due diligence. And for all of my long-term investors out there, if you're looking to take a position, I would continue to be patient. You want to wait for the price to actually discover itself. I know they do have earnings that is coming up as well, and if they don't end up executing on that, there'll be even more of a further pullback, and that might offer you an opportunity to get in at even a better price. The reason why I want to make sure I'm emphasizing these points to you, you don't need to be FOMOing to any of these plays whatsoever, especially with all the uncertainty that we have inside of the tech sector and all the concerns around interest rates. You will be able to get Lucid at the price that you are looking for, unless you're talking about, well, you know, I want to buy Lucid at like $5 a share. That's a different ball game, but you guys already know what I'm trying to say. Be patient and wait for the stock price to come to you. And for my traders, of course, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for this coming week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will continue to keep you guys updated. We'll talk soon.